Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Christy Kalinowski, Vice President of Franchise Development at Hand and Stone. Thank you so much for joining us today. At Hand and Stone, as you know, we spend a lot of time talking about growth, but it's just as important to understand the long-term value of what you're building and how you'll eventually exit in a way that aligns with your goals. Today's conversation is designed to be practical, high level, and focused on how valuation works, what impacts timing, and how owners can start thinking about exit strategy earlier in their journey. I'm joined today by Joan Sorello, owner, intermediary, and advisor at Murphy Business Sales. Joe works directly with business owners and buyers across a wide range of industries, helping guide valuation, transactions, and successful exits from start to finish. Joe, thank you so much for being with us here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. To kick us off, can you share a bit more about your background specifically, and then how you typically partner with franchise owners or small business sellers?
Absolutely. I've been in business for quite some time since I was 24. I've owned 29 companies myself. So I've owned a lot in my history, all different parameters in this industry. And then I decided about 10 years ago to get into the broker side, and I enjoyed helping sellers sell their business and buyers acquire a business and kind of fitting them in. So I've been doing that for quite some time now. I've been with Murphy for over 10 years, working with them and helping the sellers find qualified buyers, and implementing a lot of my work with franchises and working with the franchisees to help purchase, I'm sorry, to sell their businesses and find the right candidates. So I've been doing that for a while. Myself, I've been in a lot of franchise ownership from like Rita's Water Ice, Philly Pretzel Factory, Manhattan Bagel, Murphy, a lot of different franchise concepts. So I'm very well versed in those industries and working with the franchisor in that process.
Amazing. So, have you exited currently the restaurant businesses?
Yes, I've been involved in a lot of the restaurant businesses and exiting them as well.
Awesome. So you have that firsthand experience going from entering the franchise system to exiting.
Yep, I've done them all. I sold all my own companies myself, and that's why kind of led me into the brokerage world. And I had a lot of contacts, and I really enjoy helping sellers move to the next level, if it's retirement possibly, or just looking to move on to another venture, and then helping them on that side, looking for another business when they are selling their current business they have.
That's incredible. So, subject matter expert who's done it himself and then helping others. To that end, how should franchise owners think about their business and how much it's worth? What are buyers using to evaluate and determine that value or sales price?
Sure. How to, see what a business is worth, it really comes down to their financials and their structure. So, as a franchisee looking to sell their business and knowing, okay, what should I be looking for? The key thing is being prepared, is the key thing. Making sure you're starting to understand the exit part of your business. And me personally, like I use my examples, is when I buy a business, I put an exit strategy together. Does it change over time? Absolutely. But when you buy business, you got to understand, like, are you looking to get it to a certain revenue level? Are you looking to stay in it for 5 or 10 years because you want to retire? So these are things of preparation, and then finding out what the value of the business comes down to. The revenue, also being consistent with recurring revenue. Um, Also the risk profile on, knowing what the risks are going to come with selling a business too, because you got to find the right time in the market to sell it. I mean, there is fluctuation in that. As you know, right now, interest rates are hindering some possibility of buyers buying a business. So, actually, evaluating a business is, determined by a lot of different factors. A lot of clients come to us saying, what's the multiple? And what I tell people is it's not just putting a number out there. We have to know how you operate it. What's your revenue looking like? Is there upgrades needed into the franchise that you're in? Because there are punch lists that franchisors will give you that have to be upgraded. So these are things you want to start ahead of time versus waiting that one day, say, hey, I want to sell it tomorrow.
Mhm. So not a magic formula in terms of a specific number for valuation, but a variety of factors.
Right. So we have to, I like to learn in my client how they operate it. What's the
Mhm.
revenue for the last 3 years? Is their store been upgraded recently? So there's a lot of
Mhm.
parameters that go into it. And I always say we basically just kind of dumb it down at the end and say, okay, this is what the value is. Divide that by, the revenue, and here's your multiple. So it could be,
Mhm.
two times multiple. It could be a five times multiple,
Sure.
depending on the revenue and the operation.
That's really, really good context. And I think highlights the importance of working with a subject matter expert like yourself because of all the complexities within to get to that final number.
Correct.
Now, one thing that we constantly see is timing. It's not just about when you decide to sell, it's about how prepared you are to make that decision thereafter. So I know you had mentioned you sketch out that exit strategy early on, and again, can be flexible with that adjustment, which is great and really great advice. From your experience, what are some of the most common factors that either reduce valuation or create friction during the sales process overall?
Well, yeah, reducing valuation comes to be unorganized. I tell a lot of franchisees that I understand you might do your own books, but it's the best thing to do. I've learned in my time is get a bookkeeper. They're not that expensive, but they keep you in line. I see my bookkeeper once a week. I want to know my financials. I want to know where my money's going. I want to see where I'm at. So that's a key thing in knowing your numbers. Also, she gives me an accordion folder every year at the end of the year with every invoice alphabetical order. So when I go to sell my business and someone wants to look at all my financials, I literally just hand them 3 years worth of organized information. So it makes the value worth more and easier to go through that
Mhm.
process. So, being organized is a key factor. Also maintaining your revenue, revenue slumps, like, I know this first quarter for a lot of businesses we're dealing with, it was tough with the winter, depending on this, what type of business your industry you're in. But the weather did hurt in the East Coast, with the snow, the rain, the ice, everything. So the first quarters are looking, a little low. So again, that kind of hurts where you're exiting because now banks are not going to finance, or they're going to hold off. They want to see what the second quarter is going to look like. So devaluing your business is if you as a hands-on owner, if you're there working 80 hours a week and you're not kind of delegating some of that work, that causes the value to change. Declining in revenue declines the value. Your store's not been upgraded for like 10 years and it's kind of falling behind, that devalues, because then people are going to have to uh, pay money going into it. No, hey, I have to spend 50 grand to fix up this, location. So it's very crucial that you get someone like myself to kind of talk you through it, what to prepare for, and making sure you get the top dollar for your business, and that we have a good positive, sale price put on it, and not devaluing your business that you work so hard, because usually it's the prized asset of everybody that owns. They were very hard at their business, and now they want to capitalize on selling it.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Murphy business sales and the resource that you can provide to our franchise owners that choose to engage in your services. Tell us a little bit about that support that you provide to owners through the life cycle of them making the decision to call you and have that initial conversation, moving to valuation, and then actually identifying of the new candidate. Can you walk us through that process?
Sure. Yeah. The first thing, what Murphy provides is our background and our skill. I have a unique level versus other brokers out there where I've owned 29 companies. I have a different perspective than any other broker out there that I've talked to, where I've been on both sides. I understand what their mentality goes through. It is, I become a glorified, psychiatrist. It's very, draining on our clients. So my thing is to walk you through it, make it as painless as possible. It is an emotional roller coaster going through this process. So my thing, with Murphy is taking that other side of it, is, being realistic with my clients in the process they're going to go through, walk them through it, help them through the process day to day, and understanding, what it's going to be. So engaging with a Murphy agent, you're getting that, background of support that you need in selling your business, walking you through the process. And the thing is engaging with someone from Murphy at an early stage. You don't want to wake up one day. We did pre-COVID, we did a lot of seminars, and one of my first slides was someone waking up, in the morning saying, "I think I'm going to sell my business." You can't do that. You have to say, "Okay, I want to sell my business in about a year. Let me start getting things in line. What do I need to engage with to make it, most effective?" And that's where I come in and say, "Okay, this is what we need to prepare. This is what we need to do. Let's look at your financials. What can we do to increase it?" We did it with a business just recently where, his business was 300. Within 2 years, we were able to sell for 600 because I was able to coach him and stepping out of the role that he was in working his business, overseeing it, but finding the right people and delegating, which is, tough, but that's what Murphy does. We help you through the whole process. We're not going to be, hey, we're going to sell it. We're going to put it on the websites and we're done. We're constantly working to better ourselves in finding the right buyers for your business, but also preparing you along the way by giving you that help. We have professional people that work for us in with Murphy from two great attorneys. Attorneys are very hard to come by that are really good and understand the process. I try to control the deal as much as I can for my clients. So then this way we have control over the whole deal when we bring a buyer. So that's crucial. So we offer that. Also, I deal with two major banks that do the funding for the business. So I provide that, and I call that's my golden ticket when I get basically I get a pre-qual letter from a bank saying they will finance this business that we have come with evaluation with for a qualified buyer. Then my job is for my client to find that qualified buyer and bring him through that process. So basically, I'm holding hand from start to finish until the closing is done, till the ink dries on your check. That's my job. It's not over until it's over, as we all know. So I'm still selling the business even when we're under LOI, letter of intent. I'm still selling it. But we just put people on the back burner because in case something falls through. So again, it's a lot of moving parts in the back end that a lot of clients don't realize go through the process, and kind of mediating the whole transaction between buyer and seller. It does become very emotional for some clients that we deal with. And I know how to deal with them. I'm realistic. I use the KISS theory. I don't know if everybody knows the KISS theory. It's keep it simple, stupid. Keep the process simple. Keep everything, and it makes it go smoother. With what I can offer and helping them out.
I love it, Joe. I usually say keep it simple, sweetheart, but I love
Okay. My dad used this. He says, keep your decisions, simple and everything like that. So that's the Italian way for my dad.
amazing, amazing. So what I'm hearing you say is it's never too early to engage with you and your organization. You're willing to help buyers prior plan, help evaluate their business from the jump, even if their sale is a year or two away.
Yes, absolutely. The earlier the better, 'cause it can't hurt. And the one thing too is they have to let their account know too. Some of them are like worried about letting their account know because, again, I hate to say it, but the accounts are somewhat of our kryptonite because guess what? They don't want the client to sell their business because now they're losing business, right?
Sure.
On the we're trying. So it's like a tug of war, but you do have to let them know because they have to make sure the books are on cue, everything looks right. Because sometimes people will get into maybe they write off some of their the car, the cell phone. That sometimes affects the value of the business because the banks are not going to always add that back because they're not sure if you're using that car for the business. They're not sure if you're using stuff, but so those are things that come up. But definitely letting everybody know that you're looking to sell, even obviously you guys being the franchise, or letting them know because I always tell them you have to inform them because we need them to come out and do oversee your location and see if any upgrades need to be done because we have to factor that in to the sale price. Is it going to be the franchisee that's going to do them prior, or are we going to escrow some money so the seller comes in, they have the money to fix whatever needs to be fixed? So the earlier and having that strategy ahead of time is key.
That's great advice. And the fact that you're there every step of the way is super comforting, especially having been in franchise owner shoes before. Give us one takeaway. If you want a franchise owner to remember anything from our conversation today, what would the parting words of advice be?
My parting advice would be prepared. That's the key thing. Be prepared in, um, you know, getting everything in line and sell your business. As much work you did, you got to remember as much work you did in purchasing it, making that decision to go with the the franchise that you wanted to go with, you have to prepare an exiting and you have to do it the right way. So being prepared, notifying everybody that is involved in this whole journey, notifying them so they, can help you out through this process. But the earlier the better, and to get in touch with someone for the support that you'll need through this process.
Thank you so much, Joe. This has been incredibly valuable for everyone listening today. It's really about perspective, right? Understanding that valuation is something that you build over time. Timing plays a critical role, and that there are experienced partners here who can help guide the process when that time is right. If today sparked additional questions, that's exactly our goal, to be able to help you with those additional questions. And this conversation is just a starting point. We'll share Joe's contact information so that you can connect with him and his team for individual conversations. Joe, again, thank you so much. And we look forward to you helping our franchise owners really map out their next chapter.
Absolutely. We're glad to be there and help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.